guys, welcome back to Zagami Beauty. I'm Krysia. Today's video, another foundation review, and I've never tried the original. This is going to be the MAC Studio Fix Tech Cream to Powder Foundation. They just reformulated it, and I never really reached for it or wanted to try it because it just seemed like a little bit of a harder formula to work with. I think the previous formula was quite thick, and it was just more difficult to just sort of spread onto the skin. So a little bit too intense for me in terms of coverage is what I always thought. Now, I was at MAC Cosmetics yesterday. I was talking to the associate, and she kind of mentioned the new foundation, and she gave me a couple samples. I have 2 shades in this foundation to try on for you guys. We'll just do one on each side, and I'll do a full day wear test, and we'll go from there. Of course, I invite you to subscribe, leave your comments down below, let me know your thoughts on this foundation. Have you tried it? Have you tried the original? Give it a like if you found this video helpful as well, and let's get straight to it. I don't have the original, obviously, packaging for it because I got the 2 samples. I'll show you guys a picture of the foundation though. It is a beautiful compact, comes with a sponge applicator, and I'm guessing it's to be used sort of to like dab and push into the skin. I am going to use a kabuki brush because I don't know really what else to do with a sample in a jar. It does have hyaluronic acid in it. It is going to be a lot more moisturizing, supposedly, than the original, but still to give you a natural matte finish. I'm not going to powder it because I'm assuming with this formula, the fact that it's cream to powder, it should dry down and I won't really need a powder. I'm hoping that. 12 hours of wear time. Again, it's just supposed to be a really nice coverage, natural finish, and a little bit more, I guess, moisturizing for drier skin types, which I do have, especially on my cheeks. So I'm going to appreciate that if it's true. Let's go ahead and put this on. I have 2 shades, NW20, which is a little bit more of a slightly pink undertone. I know MAC does their undertones differently. Cool, you would think is more the pink, but no, for MAC, Cool is considered more of a yellow undertone, and then W is warm, but that's considered more of a pink undertone. So NW20 as well as N5, because I do swing a little bit more neutral versus pinky. So we have both shades. We'll do one on each side and see what happens. All right, let's start with the N5 on this side of the face. It feels definitely very creamy, slightly whipped, and it does feel like it's going to be quite high coverage. I'm just gonna dot it on, and as you can tell, it does feel like it's going to cover a lot. No real scent, spreading nicely. Coverage is okay. It feels quite, oh, it's starting to dry down. I was gonna say it feels quite creamy and not overly silicone-y, but just slightly silicone-y at first. And then now it feels like it's drying down. Okay, that's interesting. So let's just leave it there. We'll look at it after we do the other side. It feels quite cooling as you're applying it. Coverage looks medium, and I feel that with the texture, because it is quite a thick, creamy texture, I don't think there's a lot of room to play with when it comes to building it up. It's almost like you just have to go in, and that's what the finish is. Thinning it out is almost impossible because it is a cream, and then I think layering it might not be a good idea, again, because it's a cream, so it might start going heavy really, really fast. It did spread very, very easy. We'll take a look and see what's happening here. So both shades look really good. I feel like the finish is, oh my gosh, like crazy skin-like. I really thought it was gonna be a little bit heavy upon first application because it seems like the coverage is going to be intense. Like it looks quite opaque when you're kind of dabbing it and smearing it onto your face. And now that it's blended in and drying down, it's looking really skin-like. I'm gonna try and take down some of this lighting. It just looks super skin-like, you guys. And it's seriously drying down. Like, wow. My skin feels very soft. It still is reflecting a little bit of light, as you can tell. It's not overly matte. It almost just became like one with my skin. Upon first application, I thought it was going to be way too heavy and way too thick, but it's really, really not. Ooh, I have high hopes for this one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my makeup. I'm not going to powder. So we'll see how this wears as a cream to powder. So we shouldn't have to powder, right? I'm gonna just go ahead and do my makeup and see you guys in a quick second. So I just finished putting on the rest of my makeup. I filmed 2 other videos, so it's kind of a mishmash of other videos that I filmed. That doesn't matter. What matters is how good this foundation looks. It is truly blown me away. I don't know if it's because I wasn't expecting much going in, because I really didn't think about this foundation when it was released. I don't know. I don't know if it's that, or it's probably the fact that it's pretty freaking incredible. First things first, it is a cream to powder finish, and I would agree with that. I don't think you need to powder. I do feel though, if you don't powder, any areas of the face that tend to go oily, for me, that happens to be my T-zone. And not powdering that area, I'm already noticing some of my natural oils poking through. It's not crazy, but it's been only about an hour because I was filming, so it's a little bit longer than what you're seeing on camera, right? It was a quick change, but it's been about an hour that I've had it on my face now, and some of my oils are peeking through, but it's nothing tragic. Will it get tragic later on? We'll see. Like, we'll obviously come back at the end of the day to do that check. Would I normally powder? Yes. I think normally down the road, I would powder just ever so slightly those areas that tend to go extra greasy. I used all powder products, and they applied absolutely beautifully. The application of the rest of my makeup was so smooth, so cohesive. I can't believe it. It doesn't feel heavy at all. It literally looks and feels like my skin. It's sort of just become one with my skin, if that makes sense. It's not sitting on top of my skin. Like I said, it's just become one with my skin. And so any areas that normally have creases, like my smile areas, they look really plump. And like, look how plump this looks. It's crazy. And let's scoot you in a bit. It's truly crazy how plump these areas are. Sometimes I do get sort of crevices there. I didn't conceal anywhere except for a touch under my eyes. So far, so incredibly good. It is about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I put this on around 12:30. I'm hoping to push it till at least 8:30 or so. And we'll see. I hope it wears well, you guys, because that's one chunk of information that's missing. If it doesn't wear well, then, you know, it's But I have high hopes, fingers crossed it wears well, and I will see you guys very soon for you, another 6 hours or so for me. All right, we are back. So, where are we actually? Where are we? You know what, when 9 o'clock hits, you guys, and my kids are finally in bed, like, I'm just done. I look like I'm seriously stoned out of my mind or something, and I'm not. Kids in the room here. But yeah, anyways, okay, let's try and open up these eyes. What do I think? This foundation, from afar, it looks good. It still looks really, really good. I'm just gonna have to say it straight up. It's not an oily skinned friend. It starts to break apart as soon as your natural oils start to produce. And for me, that's in my T-zone. It just starts to break up in those areas, and it then starts to just kind of like slide off. I just don't feel like it's fresh. It's sort of like missing in areas here, like I'm touching it now, but I swear I wasn't touching it like that all day. I'll scoot you guys in a little bit actually. From a distance, it does look still good. I mean, it's a beautiful formula. Let's face it, it's really plumping, and I still feel like my skin has that nice plump effect. In that T-zone, it's worn off quite a bit, especially my nose and chin, around my nose as well. My pores, it's kind of settling in there, especially when I was looking in natural light when I was in the car this afternoon, and I started noticing that around that 3 to 4 hour wear time. That's when, again, my oils are starting to peek through. So I'm definitely correlating it to that. And I don't know if it's the fact that it's a cream to powder formula. So initially, because it is quite creamy when you're putting it on, and then it sort of like settles and dries down to a more skin-like finish. I wouldn't even call it powder, but a skin-like finish. I don't know if just the formula, as soon as it starts mixing with oils again, it starts to like not know what it is. Like, okay, am I back to being a cream, or am I still settled down into a powder? Like, I just feel like it's having like an identity crisis, because my cheeks look awesome. Like where I'm dry, it looks so flawless. But then the breaking up part, is in the T-zone. From this experience, I don't think I'd recommend it for people who are anywhere outside of dry normal. I think if you are getting any oil production that's significant throughout the day, such as a combination or oily skin type, I don't think you're going to enjoy it. I mean, if you're expecting only 3-4 hours of good wear time, I think it's beautiful. The finish is so flawless and it photographs really, really well. I just don't think you'll be happy or appreciate that effect with the oil mixing in. It is what it is. I mean, you know, that's the nice thing about reviewing foundations, is that because all these formulas are so different, it's not going to be suitable for absolutely every skin type. So let me know down below, what are your guys' experiences with this foundation? Have you tried it yet? I mean, it didn't get a ton of hype. I'm curious to know what you guys have experienced with it. That is it for today's video. I hope you found it helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Ooh, and don't forget to subscribe before you guys go today. Don't want to forget that. All the best, you guys. Bye.